what we call armor is really a prison.
Gotcha.
That's what
That's a good word.
It has men in bondage.
Yeah.
And it is very difficult to be free. The Bible says the truth is going to set you free. And when I look at Christ, I think there's a great example. Christ not only was emotional, right? This is something we normally say about women.
Or maybe we want to say expressive.
I say Christ was emotional. We tend to think emotional is a negative connotation.
Correct.
It just simply means I have emotions. Right? Which is one of the reasons why we say women are emotional, not men. That's a lie. Everybody is emotional. Has emotions.
What's good, everybody? The weekend is here. I'm Pastor Debleaire Snell, excited to welcome you to the Exhale with BOL. Now, I need you to know tonight is a King's Table night. The King's Table is a space that has been designated and created for men to be able to come together, to talk, to share, to be built up, and to have a sense of fellowship as we maneuver through life's journey. So listen, I'm excited tonight. I have a panel of gentlemen from all walks of life, all ages, all perspectives that are going to be kind of leading us in a conversation entitled, What Men Want. So before we introduce the panel, do me a favor. I need you to be a digital disciple, be an Apple apostle, be an electronic evangelist. Even if you are under the Android anointing, you can still help. So go ahead and copy that link, send it to 4 or 5 brothers or sisters who just want to get a little bit of insight into how men think, what makes us tick. And I believe as brothers, there'll be some things that you hear that you'll resonate with that may just kind of give fertilizer for your thought and will bless us as we talk together tonight. And so I'm excited tonight to open it up and introduce our panel. It is a group of men that I truly do love, respect, or have had long time fellowship with. I want to begin here to my right with my brother, Mr. Cleveland Wilson. For those who don't know, Murph Wilson is a retired school teacher, musician. He has experienced life in a variety of ways. He is twice widowed, but God has blessed him. He has been married now. He's a newlywed for 2 years coming up here. Just experienced 2 years back in the month of December. And so we want to welcome you to the King's Table.
Glad to be here.
All right. Next, I'm glad to have, literally one of my favorite young brothers on planet Earth. I had a chance to be his pastor when he was a little boy. Now he's a full-grown man. Mr. Jalen Dupree recently just finished his PhD in occupational therapy. But more than that, man, he personifies what it means to be a young man of God. I think he is currently unmarried at the time. Is that right?
I'm married, yes, sir.
He's unmarried. And I will say, if there's anybody that's got a daughter or a granddaughter, he comes with my full endorsement. Jalen, welcome to the panel tonight.
Thank you, pleasure.
All right. And again, Dr. Myron Edmonds has been with us the entire month. I mean, he's been just laying out some things that have been blessing us. He's got 25 years of pastoral experience. He is an author. He is the leader of a movement entitled the Men's Winning Circle, designed to equip men to be able to thrive in the things that matter. Good to see you again tonight, my brother.
Yes, sir. Good to see you too.
All right. Right here to my left, I got another young brother that I've come to really deeply admire and appreciate, Brother Rasheem Pittman. He's from the NYC, but he is an entrepreneur and I don't know if the term, is it seamstress? No.
Designer.
A designer here in the local North Alabama area. Matter of fact, he's kind of one of the people that kind of helps me look all right from time to time. Does some amazing work with garments. He is also unattached as well at this point in time. I'm not going to make any representations, but he's unattached. But I'm glad to have you here. Welcome to the King's Table.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. And then lastly, he's not a stranger to our Breath of Life platform. We got Brother Joel Nuthalapali. And he is a serial entrepreneur. He does some of everything, knows some of everybody, works in various different capacities. He's a husband of 8 years almost. And a father of 2 as well.
That's right.
So welcome to the King's Table.
Well, thank you, Pastor.
All right. So I'm glad to have everybody here tonight. So as we get into it, so again, the conversation is what men want. So we are now again, we're not representing to say this represents the full range of every thought that a man will ever have. But our goal is just to kind of give some differing perspectives, maybe remove some myths, maybe, assign some truth to some things, and to just kind of have a general conversation about the things that really matter to men. All right. So I want to begin with just kind of a general conversation. I want to lay it out for consideration. Dr. Edmonds, I'm going to have you kick us off, and then we'll kick it around to everybody else. What do you think is the one thing that is most misunderstood about men? Because, there are times when people say, well, all men want is this, or all men want is that. And they usually kind of whittle us down to 2 or 3 very basic things. But what would you say is the most misunderstood thing about men?
That's a good question. I think the most misunderstood thing about men is that men don't feel.
Men don't feel.
Yeah, they don't feel. I think on a really deep level, it almost suggests that men aren't human.
Yeah.
Human beings feel.
Yeah.
And so I think sometimes we kind of categorize men in almost an automaton, kind of like machine kind of category.
Yeah.
And I think it sets itself up for a lot of abuse that men experience, but you don't hear about that a lot.
Okay.
Brothers do experience pain.
Yeah.
Brothers do experience abuse.
Yeah.
But, because of how men are socialized, it often doesn't. It's not a conversation that we hear a lot about.
It's a powerful statement. I mean, so that men are subject to all the variables, whether it's stress or pressure or grief or loss, whatever touches a woman and creates pain or, brings joy, that those same things, men feel them and experience them as well.
100%. There has been research that suggests that 1 out of every 4 women has been sexually abused. I'm sorry, 1 out of 3.
Yeah.
Well, the numbers for the men is 1 out of 4.
1 out of 4.
But
Wow.
a lot of the researchers are saying the numbers are higher with men in terms of not experiencing abuse as much because men don't say that they are.
Sure.
So just in the same way you have hurt little girls, you have hurt little boys that become grown men. So men feel. Men hurt.
Men feel.
Yeah.
I like that. All right. Joel, coming over your way, I mean, what do you think is kind of one of those things that's the most misunderstood thing about men? Again, you're not speaking for every man, but just kind of maybe as you listen, as you engage with people, what do you think is one of those things that's misunderstood?
In relationships, they equate quietness to someone who doesn't understand what the other person is saying.
Gotcha.
And we're simple. We're not complicated. At least I'm simple. I'm not complicated. I'll speak for myself.
Right.
And usually in relationships, when I slow down or when I'm quiet, I'm just trying to process what's going on.
That's a good word.
I didn't grow up in the most healthiest environment. It took me a time to process certain things. So things that were heavy took time, over a week to process it.
Yeah.
Just because that's how that's what I saw. That's what I emulated to a certain degree. So women sometimes were just looking at me like, yo, bro, we talked about this last week.
Right, yeah.
Wagwan, like what's going on?
Yeah. So silence is not always indifference.
Yeah.
It's not ignoring, but maybe there is some thought that is still being processed, developed, so that you can be, I guess, well-informed and have conviction when you do decide to speak about something. Okay, all right. Let me swing this back over on this side. Jalen, you're a young man. I'm sure your life is filled with misinformation or confusion. What do you think at this stage in your life is one of the things that maybe young ladies your age, and I'm gonna come to you, Rasheem, right after that. As you're in that kind of mid-20s, late 20s kind of season, like what do you feel like is consistently misunderstood?
I think that one thing that is consistently misunderstood is that we don't require emotional reassurance.
Okay.
That sometimes it's nice to get I'm proud of you.
Okay.
You're doing okay. You are enough.
Yeah.
A lot of times we're supposed to just, we kind of equate achievement to validation.
Yeah.
Whereas, sometimes we do require that emotional reassurance too. It's like, all right, you're doing okay. You're doing well. I appreciate you. It's fun. It's great to be appreciated.
Yeah.
And so we're supposed to just garner that ourselves.
Yeah.
Whereas, a lot of times, sometimes I need that from somebody else.
Yeah. Man, it's interesting because, Dr. Edmonds kind of talked about it in the previous episode where I guess the assumption is if there's, someone like yourself who's very accomplished and has received perhaps a lot of outward validation, perhaps the assumption is that he does not need kind of that assurance or that validation from someone who is a part of his inner world. So that's a very mature and thoughtful kind of perspective. And for a young guy, I really appreciate that. How about you, Rasheem? What is one of those things you feel like, man, is consistently misunderstood?
I would say false wisdom. A lot of women are looking at men and they perceive that they have wisdom, but they have the wisdom of the world.
Okay.
I would say that the source of wisdom is Christ.
Okay.
Proverbs chapter 2 tells us that wisdom and understanding is the first thing that a man and a woman needs.
Yeah.
And in order to make the right choice.
It's the principal thing.
Yeah, it's the principal thing. And in order to make the right choice, we need to come to him as the source. Proverbs 14, 19 or 19:14 says that God will give us a prudent woman, one who is after the Lord. So a lot of times when we're looking for, especially from a woman's point of view, we're looking at a man that can support, a man that can, he might have a PhD after his name, and they may perceive that he has wisdom. But the source of wisdom is the Lord.
Yeah. So, somebody may even have life experience.
Right.
They may have education. They may have knowledge. But there's a difference between that and wisdom.
Right.
All right.
Right.
So, Murph, kind of, give us your insight. You've kind of had a chance to hear what the rest of the panelists had to say, as you've kind of had a chance to maybe think on a little bit now. What do you think is one of those things that's really often misunderstood?
I have to piggyback on what Myron said, and I think it's crucial to who we are as men, and when we get into relationships, and that's the fact that it is assumed that we don't have the same kind of feelings or pain or compassion, and that we don't really hurt as deeply as we as say a woman does. If we're talking about, say, a married couple and they lose a child and everybody's, say, and a mother and a father and whatnot, and they look at us and just quiet, unwritten rule, I would almost say, is that the mother hurts more than the father.
Sure, yeah.
And that's totally untrue. And sometimes I think the father can hurt even more because as the father, as the head of the house, the protector, and something happens to your child, there's a whole nother level of thinking.
That's true.
I didn't do my job. I didn't protect them. And to no fault of the men, we were programmed like that in society because we're not supposed to cry when we're little boys.
Sure. Yeah.
When we get older, a man doesn't cry. You a man up. This kind of stuff. And that sounds good and all that, but when it comes down to the nitty-gritty and the man is hurting, and I think somebody said that emotional
Reassurance,
help, that emotional encouragement. And the assumption is, well, you don't have to really tell him. Now, the mother, she's really, when I lost my second wife, I had to go to get help because I was wiped out.
Yeah.
But we're not encouraged to do that because we're men.
Because we're men. Right. Yeah.
We don't hurt that deep. We just, as they like to say, we just man up. Suck it up.
Yeah.
And keep going ahead.
Yeah.
Man, but I'm hurt.
Yeah.
I'm wounded. I need somebody to give me a hand, get me back up on my feet.
Yeah.
But that's not, I think that's the main thing. And because of that, in our relationships and marriages, that can sometimes be a hindrance in the communication between a husband and a wife. Because if she still has that, or if she has that kind of mindset, or she's thinking like she maybe has been taught to think, he's a man, women get together and say, well, you know how men are. I hate that.
You hate that.
No, don't do that. Well, you know how men are. Well, men are, they don't do this, such and such. You don't know that.
Yeah.
You don't know all men.
Right.
There
That's
are
true.
some of us that are phenomenal.
Yeah. Some of us are phenomenal. I love that. And it's funny. I'm sorry. Let me go and jump in, please. Please.
I wanted to piggyback off that because what he's saying is powerful, and the research actually bears this out. So men are 4 times more likely to have committed suicide compared to their female counterparts.
Yeah. Wow.
And so, I mean, to his point, here's what I hear him saying, what all of us are really saying.
Yeah.
Being a man is the beginning of being misunderstood.
Sure.
Just being a man, you are misunderstood
Gotcha.
because the assumption is that it's okay.
Wow.
They said most of these guys that end up committing suicide, nobody knew before they took their lives
Yeah.
that anything was wrong with them. When
Yeah.
they polled family members, it didn't look like anything was wrong. And so I just think by virtue of the fact of our gender,
Yeah.
it is almost assumed.
Yeah.
The misunderstanding starts with just who I am,
Who I am,
that
yeah.
I'm good, and maybe I'm not. Yeah.
So Myron, let me come right back to you with a question. So that perception, is that men don't feel? Is that just a woman's blind spot? Or through the way we comport ourselves, have we communicated that?
I think it's both and. We're all breathing the same sociological oxygen, if
Gotcha.
you will,
Yeah.
right? So, women are coming up in homes where
Yeah.
they had, especially if you look back several generations, most of us can look back and find that strong, hardworking man that
Yeah.
didn't feel,
Yeah.
but maybe that's self-medicated on alcohol. On both sides of my,
Sure.
on my family, paternal and fraternal,
Yeah.
that was the case.
Yeah.
These were brothers that came out of Jim
Yeah.
Crow.
Right.
So they did not have the permission to
Yeah.
feel. That's how
Right.
they survived. They
Gotcha.
couldn't. It was it would cost them their lives
Yeah.
if they were vulnerable.
Yeah.
And so you have women that come up in that environment,
Yeah.
and then you have little boys who are being raised in that environment.
Yeah.
So all of us are intoxicated
Yeah.
with the with the false understanding
Yeah.
of men feeling and
Yeah.
men being human and
Yeah.
men being compassionate and men experiencing grief and loss and
Yeah.
all these things.
Yeah, Murphy.
Yeah, I want to add something to that. The other thing is the difference, and this is one thing I think we don't recognize. We have this saying, and everybody's heard it: women are from Venus, men are from Mars.
Yeah. Yeah.
Basically, what that means is we're wired differently.
Yeah.
There's a different kind of way we think, and that's also what happens in relationships and marriages. But when you think about it, like we're talking about men, women can sit together or have a best friend, and they can talk about how they feel, and I'm feeling this, and I'm not. Even if they're talking about their marriage or whatever it is. Guys, we're not going to sit here and I'm not going to say,
Yeah.
man, Jalen,
Yeah.
I'm really hurt.
Yeah.
Brothers don't do that.
Don't do that. Yeah.
Because even within our own circle, we don't want to show weakness.
Yeah.
Right.
We don't want to show vulnerability.
Yeah.
Because we the man.
Yeah. So let me follow up on something you said, Jalen, when you talked about, as a young man or just as a man,
Right.
that you need the emotional reassurance. Is that something you feel comfortable doing with, maybe a romantic partner or whether a parent? Is that something that you feel comfortable expressing, like when you sense that need? Would you say that, or would you kind of want them to be able to crack the code and figure that
I
out?
think it's something that kind of takes time.
Okay.
I know it took a while for me to just open up to my parents about things that I'm going through.
Okay. Yeah.
I think it just takes time and trust, and then being vulnerable with your partner is one of the hardest things because, as Mr. Murphy said, you are the man. You are supposed to be this stoic leader, as at least that's what society has told us.
Yeah.
And so being able to just kind of break that down, have that open communication with that person takes time and effort, and they also have to deem themselves trustworthy.
Yeah. So Rasheem and Joel, do you feel like whether it's your upbringing, just your cultural conditioning, do you feel like, and again, you all are, slightly differing in age, but, we're in the same neighborhood.
Sure.
We're all on the same planet. Do you feel like culture says, I need to keep my armor on? Or do you feel a little bit more comfortable removing parts of the armor and allowing the world to see you?
That's a great question.
Okay.
I think culture tells us your armor needs to be on all the time.
Okay.
And we're just hard-headed. It just, it doesn't do us any good. I learned in my marriage that, I think it was the previous episode, Myron, that you said you need a village around you. You need a bunch of men that will hold you accountable to who you are and what you do. I learned that in marriage.
Okay.
I needed someone else to tune my soundboard.
Yeah.
My soundboard was out of whack because I was tuning it the way I wanted and what I thought it was supposed to be.
Sure.
But when I went to somebody and opened up, man, I realized how messed up I was. So I think breaking down and taking those armors off made me realize, okay, this is how I'm supposed to wear it. This is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Gotcha.
This I'm supposed to be handling myself as a man.
Yeah.
It's okay to cry.
Yeah.
But I needed validation to say, well, why are you crying?
Okay.
Let's just process. Let's just think about this. Let's process this.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
All right, Rasheem?
I would say that culture is a big fashioning or shaping. It does a lot on the mind. So I believe that when it comes to getting to know a partner and trusting someone, that comes with time, just like what he said. But we have to, like I said before, we got to seek counsel. And the greatest counsel is from God. He will tell us the time and who to confide in. And I also believe that because we were born on this world, we inherently learn different things, but we need to be converted on how to do things the way that Christ explained them in the Bible.
Yeah.
And so a lot of us are ignorant to how we should express ourselves to other people. A lot of times I realize that if I were to express myself to the wrong person, they would throw it in my face.
Okay.
And confide in the wrong person, they'll throw it in my face. So the Bible says that foolish is the man that trusted in flesh. So first I would cast my cares on him, share my thoughts with him, and then he will lead me to the right person, mentor, that I could confide in that has more experience, like this young gentleman right here.
Yeah, and it's interesting because, we all have these, diverse senses of what manhood is. When I think about Jesus, I guess one of those, one of the most famous verses is that short verse where it talked about how Jesus wept. But even, when the Bible talks about his prayer life, how he wept when he prayed, and there was great anguish. And there were times where he expressed fatigue, need to rest, need to withdraw. And I think you see an emotional transparency in the life of Jesus Christ that literally goes counter really to, I guess, this empty silhouette that society has propped up as the model for manhood. Myron, how do we kind of make a pivot and moving more so into just that spiritual and emotional wholeness that Jesus walked in?
Yeah, I mean, it all depends on how you look at what armor is.
Okay.
What we call armor is really a prison.
Gotcha.
That's what
Ooh, that's a good word.
It has men in bondage.
Yeah.
And it is very difficult to be free. The Bible says the truth is going to set you free. And when I look at Christ, I think there's a great example. Christ not only was emotional, right? This is something we normally say about women.
Yeah. Or maybe
Women,
we want to say expressive.
I say
expressed it.
Christ was emotional.
Yeah.
We tend to think emotional is a negative connotation.
Correct. Yeah.
It just simply means I have emotions.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? Which is one of the reasons why we say women are emotional, not
Emotional.
men. That's a lie.
Yeah.
Everybody is emotional. Has
Emotional,
emotion. But I love what Christ did. Christ in the Garden of Gethsemane took, and we always talk about how the disciples were falling asleep. But I don't think that's the point. The point is he got vulnerable enough to say, I can't do this without some support. Whether they're asleep or not. They don't have to give me advice. I just need somebody to be with me. That is our Lord and Savior demonstrating to us what vulnerability looks like. And he didn't, to me, I don't think Christ had the armor on. And I'm using that metaphorically to say the
prison.
The prison. Right? Christ was free from that.
He had the freedom.
And to me, the freedom to express yourself, the freedom to be under control, to me is the quintessential definition of what a man should be about, and not what the world says, which is don't trust anybody, don't share your emotions, people can use it against you. Christ took 3 guys who did not show himself to be trustworthy.
That's right.
They were inconsistent. In their relationship with him, but he still modeled to us, I can't do this thing by myself.
And I think we should use the term emotional. I just think we're all emotional. Just sometimes we don't always express it in a way that can be deciphered and understood. So no, I'm with you 110%. So let's kind of shift a little shift gears a little bit. So let me ask you the question: what do you feel like as a man? And I don't know, we could probably spend the rest of the night right here. What do you feel has taken you the longest time, or what's been one of the hardest things to understand about women? Honestly, this could be the whole episode right here, but we'll kind of go around a little bit. What do you think, Joe? You want to start us off there?
When they speak, and when they're pouring their hearts out, or it could be something as simple as this is what I need, and they're just talking to you about it. I just want to fix it. And most of the time, I'm wrong. Because I'm trying to fix it. And all she asked me to do was just listen to her.
Just listen,
Just pay attention to the details. Like, she'll say, I like this. And I'll be at the store, and I'll buy 50 of those things that she likes. And when I come home with those 50 of those things, she's looking at me like, why'd you buy those things?
Yeah.
I just said I like one of
No,
those.
this is so funny because some woman in the chat is like, just like, amen. Yeah, but you know what I'm thinking?
Yeah.
That's such a good husband. That makes so much sense to me. If she likes those, go buy those.
Go buy those,
I'm
yeah.
buying with Joel. Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, just listen. I think as a husband, I'm still learning. I gotta listen more.
Just listen.
Just listen more.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
And it's funny because even if they tell us that,
Yeah.
it still takes a while to sink in
Yeah.
and become a part of our DNA or rhythm. So, Rasheem, what would you say has been the one thing that's taken you the longest time to maybe understand about women?
Time spells love in a woman's heart. 1 Corinthians 13, verse 4 talks about charity and the things the attributes that charity shows.
Yeah.
We suffer long, but we're kind.
Sure.
We beareth all things, believeth all things. So that's one thing that I'm learning that a woman needs, which is charity or love.
And that one of the ways it shows up is through time,
Spending time
that is
with them.
invested.
Right.
Okay, all right. Let me, Doc Edmonds, you want to kind of jump in on this?
What's the question again?
The question-
This is about a woman. I want to make sure I get this right.
Just
I don't want the women coming for me in the comments. All right, now, let's get it right. What's the question again?
What has been probably one of the things that's been the hardest thing to understand about women, or just the woman in your life, if you want to contextualize?
Now, outside of everything, you want to know what specifically?
Yeah, well, just choose one of the many things that has taken you a long time to understand about.
No. So much good has been said, but I mean, I'll be honest and say this: that I think the biggest learning curve with me and my wife was my assumption, period, just about women.
Yeah.
I think men in general have been conditioned to think women are a certain way, and so we kind of broad brush all women to be a certain kind of way.
Sure.
And so I had to give my wife the space and my daughter the space to not fit the stereotype.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
And so we
See
gotta be
them
careful.
as an individual.
Yeah, they're individuals. They're not just a woman. You know, we as men do that. Oh, that's a woman talking
Sure.
there. Oh, that's a woman's. You know, that I think that's kind of unfair
Okay.
sometimes. Yeah.
It's to kind of, discern based on the content of the character,
Absolutely.
not the nature of their gender. Okay. All right.
For me, I
Jalen?
think communication is like the biggest thing that I'm still learning how to
Okay.
do. I'm learning how because a lot of times, like my friend here, I like to internalize things. I like to be quiet. I like to think before I speak, and sometimes that takes time. Whereas they want a response now, and so I'm trying to learn how to respond while also think. So hey, this is what I'm thinking right now. That it could be susceptible to change. But this is what I'm thinking right now. So can I have a little bit of time to think about this?
Okay.
And then we can come back and reconvene.
Yeah. And I think sometimes the key is just expressing the need for a little time
Right.
to process or regroup, and then just kind of make a date where, all right, let's come back together and talk this through a little
Absolutely.
bit more. All right, Murph, what's I see your wheels turning, like you have many thoughts on this subject.
Well, not a lot.
Okay.
I think I would have to just say, okay, so I'm on my third marriage,
Okay.
and I'm getting close to 50 years of being married.
Okay.
And
That's a lot of years, Murph.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to understand them anymore.
Okay.
They are who they are.
Yeah.
When we talk about, again, women are from Venus and men are from Mars, they're wired differently. What I've learned is because of that, they're going to talk and talk and talk. They don't want you to fix it. Just listen. They don't want you to, because we're, like you said, we're fixers. Oh, that's a problem? Well, look, we can take care of that. They don't want that. They just want you to hear them out. Because ultimately, they're going to take care of it in their own way.
Anyway.
I learned that.
You learned that, huh?
I learned that. I learned that when we have a difference of opinion and they want to talk about it now, and myself, being from Mars, I got to think about it.
Yeah.
Because you can't out-talk a woman in an argument.
Yeah.
You can't do it. You just, even though basically you're right, you can't talk fast enough and smart enough to make the point. So you wait.
Yeah.
And you wait, and then finally you come back and you say, well, this is what I'd like to say. Now, as the relationship matures, the woman learns that. See, it's on both sides in terms of learning each other.
Yeah.
And they realize that, he's not going to say anything, so I'll wait.
Yeah. Wow.
And she waits.
Yeah.
And then you say what you have to say.
Yeah.
And 99.9999 times out of that, it works out. You come to an agreement and you move on. So I don't, this thing. Well, what about women? I know what they're going to do. They're going to make a quick thought. They're going to make quick decisions. They're going to want you to go along. You're going to say, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
It's part of who we are. Now, the component that makes all of that work is I love her.
Okay.
And so I'm patient. She loves me.
Yeah.
And we get to that point where we understand that.
Yeah.
So she'll wait, and I'll tell her.
Okay.
And when she's talking, and I can tell this isn't something that she wants me to fix, I'll say, yeah, well, babe, okay. I show that I'm listening. Right. Now, that's the other thing. Yeah. Don't sit up there and say, don't do that.
Yeah.
That's a thumbs down.
Yeah.
Even if it's something you don't care about all of this. Let's just fix it. Let me just fix it so we can move on.
Yeah.
Just sit there and just be that, have that loving, caring, supporting look.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, that's that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, whole nother conversation.
But in terms of the relationship in a husband and wife, that's one of the things that she'll remember. I can always talk to my husband.
Talk to her husband.
Even though you didn't say nothing.
That's right.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No. Yeah, Joe, you want to jump in?
I want to bounce off of that.
Yeah, bounce off of it, yeah.
He's talking about we're from Mars. Will Smith was, he acted in a role where he's from a different planet.
Right.
He actually said something that's quite profound. He said, stop trying to fix their feelings, feel their feelings. That's how you connect.
Oh, okay, I like that.
Yeah.
All right. Stop trying to fix the feelings.
Yes.
Just feel their feelings.
Feel the feelings. Brothers, that's a good word
how
right
we
there in the
connect.
chat.
Yeah.
Stop fixing, feel it. I love it.
Yeah.
Woo, this is a good conversation. Ladies, are you listening? Ladies, are you taking notes? The men are sharing what they want. Sometimes it can be hard to hear, but I'm glad that they're sharing what they want and they have this space to have this conversation. Make sure you tune in next week for a fresh episode of What Just Happened, my favorite show where Pastor Snell, Kirk, and Danita discuss current events through the lens of culture, through the lens of faith, and with an edge from the Bible. So we want to make sure you don't miss this new episode. We'll jump back into the conversation right now.
I'm trying to think of a couple things for me. It was probably Shanti Feldman. She kind of essentially communicates that because we all talk about this communication thing, that for women, talking is bonding activity. And she framed it this way: for a woman, she says talking is like breathing.
Wow.
And so the same kind of release or sense of joy, like when you've been holding your breath for a while and you exhale, like that's kind of what communication or healthy communication is for a woman. And I think that kind of helped it finally click. So that, there's some times where even if Gian and I have been away, or if I've been in the office all day, when I come home, it's like there's a lot. She's been holding her breath all day, and it's just kind of coming out. And I'm
waiting to exhale.
Waiting to exhale, essentially, yeah. And I think for me, and it kind of goes back to what you said, it's just everybody's different. So, Gary Chapman talks about the love languages. Yeah. So I think sometimes we mimic either the love language that we have or what our moms had and what we saw growing up. So I think for my mom, one of her love languages was gifts. So my dad would go and he would buy clothes for her and pick out things that she would like, so on and so forth. And I would try to mimic that same thing when I got married. And I would be out of town, away speaking, and I would make it a point to stop by the mall and get something. And it would land. It would be appreciated. But you know how it is. But when it really lands, right? But it's simply because I was kind of using kind of outdated information because it didn't apply to her, where she is words of affirmation, quality time, things of that nature. Yeah. And essentially, I was kind of scratching where she was not itching. Whereas in my mind, what women like are gifts or presents, when that doesn't necessarily apply to everybody. Doc Edmonds, I'm coming back to you. So, both Joel and Murph have kind of talked about kind of that need to fix, to kind of, all right, let me repair this? Where does that fixer instinct come from? Like, and I don't know. It's so funny. I hate to say it. How do we fix that? How do we fix that in ourselves? Where does that come from?
I mean, at the risk of being overly generalistic, I do think most men that I know are problem solvers.
Yeah.
Right.
Is it just that left brain logical?
I think so. I
Okay.
think so. I think a lot of it has to do with that. I do think there's some socialization with it as well.
Yeah.
It's just we feel like we're supposed to fix the thing.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I need to do. I gotta fix it. I gotta keep the thing together.
Yeah. Or is that what the leader does?
Yeah, that's what the leader's supposed to do. Even if I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, right.
And I'm leading the whole family astray. I'm dragging my whole
Right.
family.
Yeah.
And I don't really get the help that I need. But I want to say to that end, not only is there this need for us to want to fix for that reason, I think the other reason, at least for me, I was just impatient with my wife's feelings.
Yeah.
I had not been. Nobody taught me to, as Uncle Murph said, to just love my wife and to enjoy her being able to confide and share with me.
Gotcha.
And so, honestly, the fixing part was just to shut her up.
Yeah.
No, seriously.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Just
yeah. I have other motives. I have other motives. You know what I'm saying? This is transactional right here. I've listened long
Right.
enough.
Yeah.
And so, honestly, there's nothing altruistic about it. It was just,
It's
selfishness.
smooth. Yeah.
Okay.
Rasheem, and I'm gonna come back to you in just a second, Joel. You mentioned wisdom. How important is it for a man, regardless of relationship status, to really be before the throne? It's funny. I think about Solomon. One of the reasons God blessed him, he didn't ask for long life, the life of his enemies, or for wealth or fame. He asked God for wisdom, and God gave him wisdom plus all the stuff he did not request. How important is it for a man to consistently really be before God appealing for wisdom, and why do you think it's important?
It's the foundation of a man. The Bible says in 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 11, it says, now all these things happen unto them for examples.
Yeah.
A wise man learns from another man's mistakes. And so when it comes to wisdom, we should seek the Lord, look for the foundation, who is the foundation actually, and he's the one that's going to give us wisdom and understanding on who to choose. The Bible says that I am the way, the truth, and the life. So any type of direction that we need, we have the source. And sometimes we forget that we have the plug.
Yeah.
The
We
Lord
got
is
the
the
plug.
plug.
Yeah.
So
Jehovah is the plug.
we have to be reminded every morning that, we have our plug.
Yeah. Joel, you wanted to jump in?
1 Peter, I think it's 3:7. It says, "Husbands, dwell with them with understanding." I think God just wants us to understand them, not control our wives.
Yeah.
And we use Jesus as an example for the last subject that we talked about, how he had emotions, he had feelings.
Sure.
I think Jesus is the ultimate example over here. He just wants us to understand his people, like our families, and not control them.
Yeah. So go ahead, Rasheem.
Another thing I would add is a wise man once told me that marriage is a class that you will never graduate from.
Yeah.
So if you go into marriage with that thought process, you'll ever learn. So you won't expect to graduate from that class and be like, I got it all figured out. Women go through menopause, different stages of life, their mood, their character, their hormones change.
There are many seasons of life.
Right, and so we have to adjust accordingly. And so in order to do that, we have to go into the mindset of this is not going to be something that is finished till death do us part.
I love it. I love it, man. He's already weighing menopause. This is gonna be a good husband right here, man. This is gonna be a good. This is a husband material right here.
Well, consider the fact he's right about that.
Yeah.
But they may not call it menopause, but we go through these changes of life.
We call it, I guess, midlife
Crisis and stuff. So
right.
they may be in menopause and we're having a midlife crisis. And that's still part of what we have to learn. And as we're knowing each other and loving each other and realizing where we are, and we deal with it, you will never, they can never figure us out completely. And we can never figure them out. But because as God in our family, as he continues to say, and I love that, and the love that we have, we keep working it out. We keep going. We keep going. We deal with what we have to. The vows said, in sickness and in health, till death do us part. All of that. And if you can't take that vow and mean it, don't get married. Don't do it.
Yeah.
A lot of folk are doing. They get married.
Yeah.
They don't even have vows.
Yeah. Wow.
And that's not good.
Yeah. Rasheem, you want to jump back in?
Yeah, I would say that as far as, and I'm not going to take too long.
No.
As far as before we get married, we need to understand what love is.
Okay.
We have a misconception, and you asked the question earlier about wisdom. We have wisdom from the world that has educated us in the wrong direction.
Sure.
We think that love is all about me, but love is demonstrated on what we can give up or what we want to sacrifice.
Yeah.
So God so loved the world that he gave us his only begotten son. Love was demonstrated to us by the Father by giving his only begotten son.
Yeah.
Another wise man once told me that joy is the foundation of life.
Yeah.
Jesus first, others second, yourself last.
Jesus first, others second,
Yourself
last. Joy. Yeah.
So if we go into
I like that.
to a marriage or a relationship or courtship or whatever with the mindset of not what can she do for me, but how can I outlove her?
Yeah.
How can I give to her?
Good stuff, man.
And it'll be reciprocated.
Yeah. Because one of the things about love is that it needs a target.
Yes.
It's got to aim itself at somewhere else. But you're not ready to be married if you've made yourself the target.
Right.
It's you're looking to pour it into someone else. Yes. Yeah. Because like really, one of the truth is like you're not really ready until you got to have too much love to keep to yourself. Not a deficit that you need somebody else to pour in. Yeah. So, Dr. Edmonds, I had a quick question, and I'm gonna come to you right after this. Actually, let me go ahead, Murph, jump in, and then let me ask him a question.
So where did you get that phrase from? About the first and
Joy. Yeah. Jesus first, others
Second, yourself last.
Yourself last.
A friend of mine, he told me.
A friend of mine?
Mentor. Yeah, it's like a mentor.
Yeah, see, I got a problem with that one.
Okay.
Because in my thinking, and I picked up, and I won't get into all of that, I picked it up, maybe I shouldn't say I have a problem. I don't want to be disrespectful.
No, not at all.
God is first, and then me.
I see what you're saying.
And then mankind, and mankind, according to your relationships, then you have your priorities. So right now in my house, or it's for me, it's God, it's Murphy, and then Betty Joe, and then the children, and then the grandchildren, and then the family, and then anybody else that I have relations with. In her mind, it's God, it's Betty Joe, and then Murphy, and then the children, and the same forth. And the reason I think this is what it has to be is because nothing is supposed to come between me and God.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Me and God. That's where the source. That's the power. That's our love. That's our strength. All of that comes from Him. And if that's not solid, then I'm no good to everybody else.
Yeah. No, and I think you guys are,
saying the same thing.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting intersection. You just kind of coming to it from different directions.
Okay.
Because if I could almost create it like, you ever seen how a fountain operates, where it just has tiers to it?
Yeah.
So when that first small bowl is full, it overflows into a next bowl.
Yeah.
When it's full, it kind of overflows. So that if this is relationship with God, and I'm it flows over to me, that cup is full. Everything else is fed, kind of from a full cup.
Okay.
So I think it's essentially that same idea, but I'm prioritizing others, but it's out of my fullness, not out of my emptiness.
Right, and that's basically, we're saying the same thing from different perspectives. And the principle of what I'm saying is just look at the commandments: first God, and then others. So that's why I said it in that order. Joy is Jesus first, others second, yourself last. What you're saying is correct, but I also believe, based on the Bible, what I'm saying is correct too.
Okay, so basically, because we're talking about joy, and because God is first, and then we help and bless others, That's the joy that we receive.
Correct.
Okay,
so we're putting ourselves first in a sense, but we're really putting others first. So helping someone else brings us true joy. You see what I'm saying? So we are prioritizing ourselves, but we have to look at Christ. He was our example. He gave himself up, not for his benefit, but for the benefit of the entire universe.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So if we follow that pattern, we can't go wrong. And that's true joy.
So let me get you, Joel, and I'm going to come right back here to you.
Essentially, what I'm hearing is, as a married man, God's got to be my source. Because without him, I can't love nobody else.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I got to get his love first, and then, myself and other people.
Yeah.
God is still, he's my source.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Myron, let me get him in on this. Can you kind of maybe fill in some of the gaps, or maybe just draw it all together? So I've kind of seen you really kind of talk about, or you hear the idea, happy wife, happy life. And I've seen you oppose
It's
this.
not true. It's a lie.
This
It's
idea.
a lie. It's a lie. It's not true.
Quite passionately.
Yeah.
Maybe kind of bring some perspective to kind of what we're sharing.
Yeah, no.
Because you're saying, that's kind of caused a lot of men to feel trapped, isolated. But kind of share your thoughts on that idea.
Well, yeah, to me it creates a one-way direction in the marriage relationship. I think happy wife, happy life. I'm not sure where that came from, but others have said happy spouse, happy house, right? So we're both working to to love each other. Now here's the thing I've learned: I can't keep her or make her happy, right?
Yeah.
That I do not have what it takes to make my wife happy.
Yeah.
My wife has to choose her own happiness for herself, independent of me.
Tell her about time. BYOJ. You got to bring your own
You
joy.
got to bring your own joy.
Bring your own joy. Yeah.
And to bring some some symmetry to what both of the brothers are saying. I do think they're speaking from a different perspective.
Yeah.
But to Murph's perspective, Uncle Murph's perspective, I do think one of the problems that we're having is we have people who are missing this other aspect of what Christ says in his commandments. He said, "Love your neighbor as yourself."
Sure.
I was taught my whole life in the church that we're not supposed to have self-love.
Yeah.
That it was selfish to have self-love.
Correct. Yeah.
But what we're finding in a lot of marriages, and we've counseled hundreds of people,
Sure.
that the deficit for a lot of these folks is that they have some internal issues with themselves that they are projecting onto their relationship with their spouses.
Sure. Yeah.
And so, and it can manifest itself in many different ways.
Yeah.
You see yourself as the savior, as the fixer, or as the be all, do all in your marriage, or the manipulator. People can be very religious and spiritual, but find ways to use that to manipulate their spouse to get them to do what they want to do. So I see value in both. I would just simply say this to Murph's point, because it may sound foreign to some people. I do believe that there is a level of healthy love that has to happen with a person. If I'm full of insecurities and brokenness and low self-esteem, it's going to be a challenge for me. People are never going to be able to fill my cup. It doesn't matter what my wife does. I am so broken as a person that there's nothing they can do to reciprocate the deficit that I have with me. I need to get some help and love myself enough to get mended where I'm broken. If that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Murphy, you want to jump back in? I see you.
I'm a back away.
Okay. All right,
I'm a
Joel.
back away.
How do we as men love ourselves? How do we go through that process that you're talking about? Is that therapy? Is that counseling?
I mean, honestly, I would say it starts with the truth.
The truth.
We are operating on lies. And that's where all negative behavior comes from. Which is why the scripture says, you shall know the truth. The truth shall set you free. Free from what? Free from the lies. And many of us as men, we just operate on these lies of our value being connected with what we do, what we can provide, what we own, what we have. And so the truth of the matter is, what did Christ hear from the Father? We talked about this in the previous podcast.
This is my beloved son.
Jesus had accomplished nothing He hadn't healed nobody. He hadn't preached a sermon. He was 30 years old, still living at home with his mama. For all intents and purposes, we would have looked at him as a failure. And his father said to him off rip before he did anything, "This is my beloved son. With him I'm well pleased." So I think it obviously starts with a relationship with God, seeing the value that God has placed on us. And then maybe we'll put that same value on our wife and our children.
I see you, Murphy. I see it came back to you.
Yeah, I don't know if how I said it if we were going in different directions. But I feel like when it comes down to a husband and wife, you know, one of the things that is done in the Bible, and I'm not scripturally astute as others that can call it scriptures, but when we talk about God's relationship to the church, and it talks about it's like a marriage, the bride and the groom. And it's interesting to me that out of all of the other kinds of relationship, that is the main, that's the relationship that is used in terms of his relationship to us, to the church. So our relationship, my relationship to my wife, is sacred. And in order for it to be sacred, I have to be sacred or seeking that. I get my joy, get my strength and through my connection to God. So when I say nothing should come between me and God, that's because that's God. That's it. Now, after that, in actuality, and go back, in actuality, it's God first, then yourself, and then mankind. That's really what it is. But the priority should be, since I'm married and I took vows, God, Murphy, Betty Joe, and everybody else, and we can. And in terms of the joy, we'll do that. I mean, all of that happens. You have some couples that one of the mistakes they make is they believe in God, and then it's the children,
Gotcha.
and then it's the spouse. Bad idea.
Bad idea.
Does not
Bad
work.
idea.
Down the road, you're going to pay
idea.
for it.
Absolutely.
They can't. So if your children can't come between you and your wife, neither can anybody else.
That is true.
This is good stuff, guys.
Right.
So we got to land the plane. I am going to ask production, give me an extra 10 minutes here, because I got to get to this next question. I got to get to this next question. This is what the people want to know, so I got to lay it out. All right, so real quick. So I'm going to come to Rasheem and Jalen first, and then I want the more seasoned men to chime in on this.
You mean old?
Yeah. For any single women who may be out there, or brothers that just maybe need to kind of be developing, I guess a rubric from which they choose. What does wife material look like? Like because I think the married men will attest. You probably see it differently on this side slightly than you did when you were 20s or younger, so on and so forth. So, you guys are in this season of life where you are perhaps prayerfully sometime in the near or distant future you're going to be taking a wife. What is I'm sorry, I'm having so much fun. What does wife material look like? Let me start with you, Jaden.
All right. Well, I mean, it's easy to cultivate a list, right?
Okay,
You want someone with high self-esteem, someone that's kind, someone that's loving.
Yeah.
But I think that the important thing is you want to find someone that not necessarily completes you, because I feel like that implies a void.
Yeah.
Whereas someone who kind of complements you.
So
someone someone that you can learn to fill in their gaps, someone that kind of fills in your gaps as well. And so someone that, can help you recharge, someone that, will pour into you and you pour into them so that you can continue to grow together.
Okay. All right. Rasheem?
I would say, that's a tough question. I need to be smart how I answer.
See, he's so smooth and dapper, but now I see him ruffled for the first time ever in life.
Yeah, you see him rubbing his hand.
Come on, brother. Come on, brother.
Hey, where's the makeup? Come get the sweat off the brow right now.
I would say wifey material, true wife.
Yeah.
You need to see how she treats other people.
Okay.
So before looking for a wife, you need to seek counsel first as
Okay.
young men,
Yeah.
and then observe how she treats other people. If
Yeah.
she's selfish, if
Yeah.
she's loving,
Yep.
see how she treats her father, see how her father raised her,
Yeah.
because that's going to be the results of her upbringing.
Yeah.
So once we seek wisdom as a man, first I would do that, and then I would, if I was looking, look for those qualifications.
I love that because I think character is not specific to the object of interest.
Right.
Meaning, if she's only kind and generous and selfless
Right.
with you, that's not character, that's a facade. But if she is like that everywhere,
That's a habit.
that character is going to bear testimony in every space where she lives, dwells, shows
Right.
up. All right.
Right.
So if you could give counsel, Murph, Joel, to the young brothers who may be watching and contemplating Pastor Edmonds, listen, and we know that this is specific. Like, wife is not generic. It's not one size fits all. But if you could just kind of maybe identify a trait or two that says like, this is something you need to heavily consider. You want somebody that at least physically appeals to you, or whatever it is. But what are some things? Let me go, Joel, Myron, and then Murphy.
If you asked me this question, Pastor, before I got married, man, my answer was wild.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm as a Seventh-day Adventist, present truth brother.
Yeah.
My answer was, I probably should say this because I know my
Yeah.
mother-in-law is watching this, right?
Yeah.
But my answer was truly,
You better be real careful.
Real careful about that. Hey, listen.
Watch your words.
Well, I do have a couch here. I got a couch here.
my answer was, God, I want her to look like Delilah, but have a heart like Ellen White.
Okay.
You know how hard that was for me to find?
I know that. I don't know. It sounds kind of right. I don't know. Go ahead. Yeah.
But as I grew older, and as I said, I wasn't sure if I should say it or not.
Yeah. But I think we know what you're saying.
Yeah.
We get you.
But as I grew older, and as I went through seasons of relationships, I found out, man, I just want someone who's emotionally stable. Someone who has the same moral beliefs as I do, as a Seventh-day Adventist. Someone who loves God more than me.
Yeah.
And someone who will help me build as a man and as a husband. That's all I'm looking
That's
for.
it. Okay. I love that. Myron, you want to jump in there?
Yeah, I have a singular answer for this.
Okay.
And it's based on my relationship with my wife. And the way I set it up is like this. And it's hard for a lot of guys to go here.
Yeah.
If her body is not the same, right?
Yep.
If she doesn't look the same, if a lot of things are different, if she's sick, unable to perform, and you know what I mean by perform,
Yep.
do you still want to be with her?
Oof. Yeah. Well beyond surface.
Yeah. So for me, I admire my wife. No, seriously, I respect her. I'm in awe of her as a person. Like, no, don't get it twisted. I think you should be initially attracted to her and all those kinds of things. But let's just be, gravity is going to take over. Father Time is undefeated.
Yeah.
And can you still see yourself in love with this person?
Sure. Yeah.
Right. And so the thing with Sinead for me, man, I just
25 years
respect her.
ago, our hair looks.
Oh yeah. But we act like brothers act like they ain't never changed. Yeah. We act like we ain't never changed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the language that a lot of brothers speak is the language of admiration and respect. And honestly, with my woman, I just respect her. I trust her implicitly with everything at all times, under every circumstance.
Right. Okay. I love that, man. All right, Murph.
I think that everything that has been said so far is all part of the wife material. I don't particularly like the phrase wife material, but that's just an old man's hang up.
I get you.
But I think
You are the old man on the set here.
Yeah, well, hey, listen. Old as I am, I'm hanging tough.
You are
Let's not get. You see that?
Yeah.
Don't let that twist your mind, buddy.
But you still have hair.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know that's right.
But I think in a person, in a gentleman as he's looking, I will say the common denominator in my 3 marriages was that there was lots of communication, lots of communication before we got married. And when you have that kind of communication, all of the different areas that you might have concerns about or what you're looking for, it's going to come up at some point. Their closeness to God, what kind of vision, what kind of character, if we have to use that word, their personality. And the more you talk, and when it gets to the point where it's easy. I mean, you just love just talking. If you just sit there and talk half the night, that's fine, and it just feels good.
Yeah.
All three of my wives were like that.
Man.
And in those conversations that we had, everything. Now, obviously, I'm not talking about looks or anything, but if I'm talking that long, and that much, I'm already interested.
Already interested in there, yeah.
I'm already interested.
That box has already been checked.
Because if we didn't get past that, there'd be no conversation.
No conversation.
But during the course of that, you will learn who they are, and you'll get a feel, and then that's when you make that decision, regardless of what happens, physically or medically or whatever. Can I wake up to her every morning for the rest of our lives? If she gets sick, if I get sick, is this the kind of person that I would trust? All of that comes up in the talking, and you'll know. Because you can't keep what's the word? I can't think of it. You can't be a certain way and talk that way if it's not really you. You can only pretend, but for so long. And sooner or later, the real person is going to come out. You can't perpetuate a lie forever, because at some point you're going to forget the first lie you told. And then you're going to say, "Wait a minute,
can't remember. Can't keep them all up."
You can't. So communication. Now, if she doesn't really talk a lot and you can't get involved, you might want to take a walk. I'm a strong believer if you can't talk, because see, then when there are issues, when there are problems, if you couldn't talk in the beginning, and now you have to talk, you don't know how.
You're laying it out.
You ain't got a clue.
Man, this is sage wisdom that you're sharing with us tonight, Murph. For me, it's funny because one of the things about Gianna, she's just I don't know if you've ever seen the movie War Room.
I have.
That's Gianna. I mean, she is a mighty intercessor, and it's funny because our life has come up against so many weapons that we know originated in the spirit. But man, she's just mighty in that space. She's fervent. I try to set a spiritual tone, man, but she comes right alongside me, and many times when I'm just on E or at the end, she's not an anchor weighing me down. She's the buoy that's lifted me up. And for me, her words are vaccine, not virus. Like her words build. She's an architect with her words. Much of who I am or are doing is because her words help build. And again, I am who I am, but man, there's something about a woman's affirmation, push, words of encouragement. You can have wings, but you need wind to kind of elevate you and push you, and my wife does that.
And my question is, when you all were dating and courting, in your talking, did you not sense that?
Oh yeah, I saw it. No. I think because I remember
I helped him see it.
Yeah,
I was very instrumental in the process.
No, I just remember one day we were out somewhere. I just looked into her eyes and I saw peace and a settled future that is now my present. And it's not that there are not challenges or ups and downs or whatnot, but those things I knew were carrying long-term agents. And so gentlemen, real quick, we got to wrap. We are over time, but I got one last thing. 15 seconds. All of us are trying to grow as men in Christ, be spiritual men. If you could, what's one spiritual habit that is aiding you in your walk with God, so that we can just maybe help bless some men? Like, we got to get you guys back, but just one spiritual help, 15 seconds, just something that, that's currently or in the past has really aided you in your intimacy with God. Quick, Joel.
I'll say it's my daily prayer life.
Daily prayer life. Okay.
Yeah, that needs to be consistent. I can't flake on that. I think being consistent in that helps me be consistent in all aspects of my life.
Okay. All right. Rasheem, you want to jump in there?
I would say proving God and having an experimental religion or faith. Trying to test his words practically and allowing that to become my testimony to share with others.
Putting his word to the test. So it's not just theology. It becomes your lived experience. All right. Murph, and then we'll come back around.
The Bible. I'm reading the Bible more than I've ever read it in my life.
Okay.
And I'm discovering his love and his grace and his mercy. And I've got a thing now where I talk about, I want Abraham faith. I want the kind of faith that he had. And that's what I'm striving for.
Yeah. All right. Jalen?
I think being intentional and just being disciplined.
Yep.
Making sure that I have my Bible time every single day. Making, just like the gym. You know, I love the gym. Just making sure that I have that time every single day. Just being disciplined.
I love it. Pastor Edmonds?
Yeah, what they said.
Yeah, what they said. Yeah. What they said. Yeah, they laid it up beautifully. I think all of those things, man, if we're able to, develop a rhythm around the word, around our prayer life, putting God to the test, I think it really will give us the tools that we need to be able to thrive and really grow and find the next level spiritually. Brethren, this has been rich tonight, man. This has been a good time. Thank you all so much for taking time out of a busy schedule to come and hang with us here at the King's table. He's the King, but he gives us an invitation to come and sit at the table with him. Listen, friends of mine, we pray that this episode tonight blessed you, that it nourished you, that it fed you, that it challenged you in some way, shape, or form. Again, I know we're still going, but if you don't mind, just go ahead, man, be a digital disciple. Send this out so that it can bless somebody, help somebody, and just really equip somebody along the way. And we thank you so much for carving out some time to spend this Friday night with us here at the Weekend Exhale with BOL. I'm praying that you have a dope weekend, that you have a restful Sabbath, and that you get what you need to go victoriously into the next week. God bless you. We'll see you next week at the Weekend Exhale.
Hey family, thank you again for watching King's Table. We're so glad you joined us. Make sure you like this video, that you share this video, and that you subscribe to the Breath of Life channel so you don't miss any of the fresh content that we're going to be dropping this year. We want you to make sure you don't miss a beat. We'll see you next time.